All right, give us 3, 2, 1, Amit, when you're ready.
Yeah, it's we are recording now. We are live.
Okay. So key point today is to discuss our categories for the content of the web page. So far, I mean, we had 9 main categories with some child. So we had 9 parent and 7 child categories. We are trying to, and then several others that we've been using informally. So the idea is to reduce all that, boil it down to 10, 12 at most, and then stick to those ones, and they will all be parents. So I would start by, I mean, one thing I had in mind was to change it all again and think in terms of, what is scientific, what is educational, what is literary, which are 3 of our main missions as a charitable entity. But then, that would change completely. So I think we still. I still think this is transitory in a way. So at some point we can, get rid of these categories as well. They were. Oh, Prerna is joining.
Hello, Prerna.
Hi, how are you doing?
Hello, welcome.
No,
We don't hear you very well.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't hear me as usual?
We hear you very, very faintly, though. Very faintly.
Okay.
Maybe keep the microphone in front.
Okay,
Yeah.
if this works. Yeah. Am I more audible now?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, slightly better.
Much better.
Right.
That's better. So if you have the list of keywords that I sent on the email a couple of hours back, you see there is about 20, 25 classifications for our content. So this, what we need to bear in mind, this is type of media mostly, right? That was the original idea. That's why we had, type of media. And then, so at the beginning you have talks, courses, and documentaries. So this is all that is video mostly.
Yeah.
And then we had people, research, and institutions, and this is mostly institutions. So it's institutional definition is so people doing research, projects, innovation. And then the last one was printed, the printed word. That was the idea. So you have the video, living, say, people, and then the printed word. In the printed word, we had books, journals, and articles. And then we had child categories. So innovation went under research, newspapers, press, and reports went under articles. And then art has no affiliation, so it should be a totally new entry.
Right.
And then others, I mean, MOOCs is just another way of calling courses, but it's more restricted to the web, to what is available on the web. Data is something, again, that goes under research. I was starting to highlight database data because there is one of the key developments we want to do in platform anthropocene is to collect data, available databases from the website, and then start visualizing. So I'm starting also to put down some ideas in that sense, and I've started to find very good data sets. So this is maybe again something that we want to add as a of its own right, because then from this one we can generate the third branch of planthro, right, which is data mining and visualization. So that's why I was starting to use this one. And then again, NGO is an institution. Events, events is part of research maybe, or not always, but conferences. So events and conferences, they are, we need to find one word that encompasses all that. So I would, I don't know how to start. Maybe We should start from people, research, and institutions. See, well,
if I may give some idea of how we are, technically speaking, how we are structured. Well, first of all, right now in our current version of the website, entries without labels are not lost, but they're very hard to find. I mean, we need to be able to label, and without them, I mean, they are still there, and but they're pretty unusable, unreadable without a label. Secondly, we can very well have more than one labels, because things tend to be interdisciplinary and always in between. Something is a a conference as well as, let's say, a course sometimes, so things can be in between. So it's perfectly possible technically to give more than one label, any number of labels among a defined list. Number three, the labels have to be exactly and precisely done, in the sense spelling mistakes are not allowed, and you should know when, if you're differentiating between courses and MOOCs, you should know what you're doing as editors. Because, and suppose you don't add the S of MOOCs, again we'll have the same problem. So they have to be extremely, we should have a method, and we should follow it. And fourth, as of now, everything on our website at technical level is parent labeling. There is no child labeling at the moment.
okay.
So everything is a parent label, and so that's how we are technically structured. I think the last thing I would say about it is, fifth thing, that we have room in our current template for about, I can force fit maximum of 15 labels. That should not restrict the editors on what they want to do, but we will have to think of more ideas on how to display them. As of now, we have only, I would say comfortably we can fit some 13 or 12, but we can also accommodate about 15. But we don't have room for too many, in the sense of our current template only.
Yeah, I think the other thing is to have them the same way that we have the right handbar. So I think, I mean, my view was that in time we can have as many items as we want on the right hand, right? And then it just scrolls up and down. I don't know if that's still viable, or if it was. And then in that sense, I mean, when we are there, we can have how many words as we want.
These are functional keywords, right? Like the subject keywords.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And that could be the
we haven't tested more, let's say, the scroll bar there, but it should be possible. Yes.
So the idea is, if we reach the position of having a scroll bar, then there's no need to select, and you can just
but interface wise, we have to think whether it's the best idea to have, let's say, a scroll bar. But that said, to begin with, I think at intermediate level, I think a scroll bar is it should be possible. We haven't, like I said, we haven't tested it. We'll have to.
It could also be a scroll bar. I think it could just be a scroll bar that keeps rolling. It doesn't need to have the command that you can scroll up and down. It could just be something that keeps rolling, and then on the right hand side you have keywords rolling, and on the left hand side, and eventually, because there are not that many, after a few seconds, you get back to the first word, and then you see what I mean.
I see. Yeah, no, I think we'll have to look for appropriate JavaScript, but yes, this is possible. But at the same time, Andrea, we cannot be too animated. I mean, because there are so many bad websites which are bad not because of anything but over styling, and so we have to keep a watch for that. So that's the only thing.
Okay, so I mean, if we have to reduce, I can make some propositions maybe, and then we can vote on them, or or decide on them. or you can, or any of us can start, and then we. What do you think, Amit? I mean,
No, I mean, I'll let the editors. Yeah,
I might have a couple of suggestions. Sorry, Amit, you were saying something?
I'm saying I don't have a say there. I will let the editors decide. Thailand, over to you.
Okay, I just would kindly make a couple of comments maybe for this left-hand column and right-hand column. I think that they add value to the website for sure. Now it's more clear that we are talking about something related to oceans, human impact on nature, cities, species. Now, I mean, at the first glance, a non-layman would understand more easily. I think that it added like tremendous value. Well done. This is my first impression. And second, my kind suggestion would be to be a bit more clearer on the subjects on the top of the columns. For example, instead of saying trending, because trending might be anything, right? It might be news. I don't know. It might be related to breaking news, etc. We can say topics or subjects because these are to me all subjects, right? And on the left hand side, in terms of explore, we can say style or I don't know type. So then I would immediately grasp that as a user of the website, I should select a topic such as oceans, and if I need to learn more about oceans, I should go the following styles of posts or courses or documentaries. That would be my kind of suggestion. And second suggestion would be to maybe change the style of the first line, the title line, which is trending and explore. They look like icons, so it's a bit confusing. So I was trying to click on them, but they're unclickable. So maybe make sure to the visitor that these are like kind of titles, not icons, not at the same hierarchical level of oceans, human impact, etc.
Yeah. Right. I've made a note of both the points.
Okay. Prerna, you want to say something or?
I agree with both of you.
No.
Your microphone.
Yeah, the microphone is not audible. Sorry.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I agree with both of you that I think if we are looking into oceans, I want to know whether there is a recent talk on it, whether there is a recent course, documentary. So subheadings would further classify what exactly in oceans am I looking at.
Yeah.
Again, I will tell how technically the right sidebar. And by the way, we are mixing the topics between left sidebar and right. Editorial wise, they could be two different discussions. Technically, they are pretty much. I mean, they are still slightly similar. On the right hand side, the idea was to not cover everything, at least as of now. I mean, Andrea thinks that later on there can be a list of 100 that keeps scrolling, but right now the idea was to use the the first motivation was to tell the author what the website is about. That Thailand found in the a step in right direction. The way it is functioning and the way it was implemented was that we have some room. I mean, we don't have a room for a huge, let's say, map there, but we have some room. So we included 10 or maybe around about 10 names, and these are we posted them as trending topics. And in internet jargon, it's somewhat known that these trending topics means what people are liking on the website or are the idea is to add a little bit of technology there, and these topics can change from time to time automatically depending on what people are reading. But oceans would actually search oceans the keyword on our website and generate a page with all the posts with that keyword present, with the last entry. Currently our ordering is such that the last entry first, I mean the latest first, and that's how the right scroll bar is functioning, technically speaking. Again, the idea is to give keywords as starting points, let's say starting point to people to start reading the website, depending on the topics they like.
So the left sidebar is independent of the right.
I can't hear you, Prerna, sorry.
Okay, is the left sidebar independent of the right sidebar? Right, the left-hand sidebar is independent of the right-hand sidebar.
It's not. Yeah, they are independent of each other.
So
Yeah.
I suggest that if they are they work in sync, which means if I select, say, the #1 trending topic, which it says ocean at the moment, and then if I select an icon for let's say a documentary, then I should
I
be
see.
only able to view an ocean-based documentary.
I see. I see.
Yeah.
Right now, I mean, just as of now, we don't have technical. What you're asking for is possible. Just as of now, we haven't really created that sort of functionality. Yes, we'll have to think a way to implement, but it's possible. Yes.
I mean,
Okay,
the way to is the search button. If you click ocean conference or ocean documentaries, then on the search button, then you get all the content that contains the two. I mean,
sure, but intuitively, I had the same impression as Prerna, that the way it functions was that if I select oceans, then talks, it would be talks under oceans. So
no, if you select anything you select, you go straight to the. I mean, you don't need 2 clicks to go. If you click anything, you go to that selection. But it's the same as writing the keyword on the search bar.
Yeah.
I see. So
it's just, I mean, the idea there was, in response to one of your previous comments, was to give an idea, a better idea, more keywords to people to understand what the web page is about. And that's why I think in time we don't need the media bar. The left-hand bar will be obsolete because it doesn't add. I mean, it adds in terms of what kind of material you can find there, but then we could just restrict to video or text, something like this, or video text institutions. But again, is a lot of work, which really, I mean, what really matters is the kind of I mean, is the content of the web page. And then, of course, I mean, it's interesting to have like something like educational, and then you know that there you can find videos. But I wouldn't invest too much into the bars. What do you think, Amit? I mean, this is all transitional, isn't it?
Well, yes. That said, we are arriving at something here. It's not. I mean, done to well. Yeah, I won't mind giving it all up for a better idea. But here I've made a note of, for example, Prerna's suggestion and Thailand's suggestion also about hyperlinks, especially, I suppose, it's quite misleading. So, and these simple changes are, in a way, progression. Except, and like I said earlier, to your suggestion, Andrea, about having many more keywords to fit in there. These are requirements. I think we should follow the requirements rather than anything else. And yeah, so I'm keeping to collect them, and then we'll see. And at some point the requirements will become more than what the current, let's say, structure or template is supporting, and then we can scrap it all away for a better or new idea or more functional idea. Okay. So it's transitory in that sense, except it is done with care that if it stays for a year, it's not terrible to look at, or it's not functioning.
No, I wasn't thinking in that terms. I was thinking in terms of having a function where you select from the two sides. First of all, I think it would need explanation, because otherwise people will be clicking and they think, why is that nothing is happening?
No, it won't be on two different sides. If we implement Prerna's idea, it'll be more like a standard filtering mechanism that that databases have, for example, a filter, a sub-filter, or something.
I think that this stage is much better than the previous stage, because now, as we just talked about, we know immediately what the website is about. My initial suggestion actually was more to focus on the right hand side, what the site is about, and then after clicking, to have the left hand side appearing. I don't know if this makes sense for you.
But then you would have the homepage with only one, and then you would have to go back to the homepage every time you want to choose a different.
No. Actually, I mean, you know what? All this is possible. Let's not think of our more requirements, but in the same interface. Of course, the interface has to progress if these requirements have to be brought in, and they have to be done in a way that it is still intuitive and so on. So yes, so let's not think that when we do it, one will have to go to first right and then left, and and then the homepage, there'll be no intuitive answer to go back to the homepage. When we do it, it should be done in a way that but right now I'm saying that it's not a part of the current functionality, except if somebody knows properly how to use the search, which we can guide the people on through placeholders.
Just a sentence maybe to finish my point is actually what I was thinking is that, for example, you select one thing, sustainability, then the left hand side appears after I select the sustainability, and I will know intuitively that I'm under sustainability, and then if I click documentaries now, I will see documentaries about sustainability. And it's going to be the website is going to be very intuitive, and for the search bar, I'm going to use it for keywords as I'm used to with Google. So that would be my intuition.
Yep. No, definitely on the charts, on the cards, I've made a note. We'll do our best.
But then you should be able to do the same the other way around, right? I mean, you want to go for documentaries, you choose documentaries, and then eventually, once you are in documentaries, you want to know more about Arctic, and then you get Arctic documentaries. So, yeah, I mean, it's like in the second stage, when you click on the second stage, you only select. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much effort this would require, but I think we have reached the main objective that we had, which was to provide people with more keywords to know better about the web page. And I think I think we can invest our efforts better than this at this moment.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I mean, even priority. I mean, I'm used to just keeping requirements.
Yeah.
And I think we have done that today. We are also running. We are also running out of time. So let's, Andrea, would you like to conclude or something?
Well, the conclusion, I mean, going back to the topic of the day, which was to relist or rewrite the list on the left-hand side. Right. What I can do is I can make a proposition, say with 9 words, right? 9 media types. And then I propose which one should be, because some will need to be renamed if we go through this. Right. For example, one idea was to have educational, which would include talks, courses, documentaries, and MOOCs. So all that is defined as talks, courses, documentaries, or MOOCs would have to be relabeled as educational, right? And in this way, yeah,
we can. I think first of all, it doesn't have to be 9. Like I said earlier, we can go up to 13, 14, maybe even 15, if that is required. Secondly, keep in mind that whatever changes we do will have to be done retrospectively on like last almost 300 entries also, without which they will. But I don't think that's a very big problem once we decide.
I mean, if we don't want to do all that work, then the easiest thing is to call the most old parent, and then we select the 10 or 15 or how many we can put on the web page, and the other ones we just don't put it there, and they will only come out when you click. Like, you know, if you don't put institutions, but then you click ocean, and there is some institutions that is working on ocean, then you get the institutions working on ocean. I mean, that would be the cheapest way of going.
No, the beauty is that whenever we don't have to do it in the first week. I mean, even if we do it after any amount of time, 6 months, if we correct the labels, they'll start showing up. So they're not lost. But I'm saying that even 300 entries relabeling won't take. I mean, within a week we can comfortably do it. Yeah. Or if it takes 2 weeks, then let it take 2 weeks. You know. So that's the point. But yeah, so if I think we are past time already, so I would suggest that we perfect. I mean, among the editors, Pallavi included, who's not here today, we can the editors can decide on exact keyword on the for the left one, as well as, like you said, more trending topics for the right one on email exchange.
For the trending topics, Amit, is it possible to extract in a single word, like a rich text format, to extract all that is now in the web page?
Yes, it's possible.
In the Blogger? Because if you could do that and send me the document, then I'll just do ranking, and then we get the trending topics from there.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible through feed feature of Blogger. It's possible. I will send it to you.
Yeah, if that's possible, then I can do like a word cloud or something and see the rankings of keywords.
Yeah,
I mean that would be, you know, the way of doing it quantitatively. So you just see which ones are more common. I mean, and then we pick. We don't need to follow the list, but at least we can see if we have, you know, choosing something that is mentioned once or 10 times or 100 times.
Yeah. Okay. Right. That's it from my side, and I'll just listen in for the rest of the call.
That's it from my side as well.
Prerna?
Yeah, I'm good. I think as far as the labels are concerned, I just don't agree with the educational one so much because
Prerna, we're losing on great ideas here. Losing out. Can you speak a little more loudly?
Okay.
Look at where the hole is in the microphone.
Am I audible now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So if we talk about heads like educational, I don't think that would be highly inclusive because then we have to include everything because we don't know what is educational. Like not just courses, there are a lot of news items that are educational, a lot of print articles that are not found in journals are educational. So either we call it academic or strictly academic, where we are only talking about journals like Nature and all and nothing else. And or we just make it open because the idea is that we are trying to reach out to a bigger audience than the academic audience, which anyway has access to journals and articles. So yeah, that's what I have.
So would you mind, Prerna, because I mean, among all of us here, you are the more skilled probably in terms of you know, knowing about media and communication. I don't know if you would mind taking the list as we have it and come up with a reshuffling or a selection. The important thing is that is just to keep in mind that we need that. I mean, if we eliminate something, it should go under another. It should be merged into another. For example, conferences should go under events if we get rid of conferences. I mean, we need to reabsorb into something more general. Right? That's the key issue.
Right. So
I mean, if you're happy to do that, I'll and then we can discuss on the. I mean, this is what I was trying to do with this educational or others.
Yeah.
I think it's important to introduce art and data as new ones, and then of course courses and MOOCs are the same thing. So we keep courses, and MOOCs they go under courses, and we just. And then for the others, I mean, I always had a lot of trouble, with papers, press, reports. I mean, reports are scientific mostly, but not always. Sometimes, if we go too much into detail, then I think we get lost. And then the more detail, the more a person has. While if we use video, for example, anything that is video, whatever, we put it under video. So that's the line where we need to be careful not to go, I think, too much into detail, because then individual judgment will come into play, and put something under different categories.
Right.
So can we have Prerna take the lead on, and others can follow, and on the email, and we can perfect the idea. I mean, of a set of keywords that are not too specific or not too general, but cover the ground completely.
Right, I'll do that.
Yeah. All right.
With always in mind that we have to then go back to the entries that we have so far and reintegrate them with a new classification.
Right.
And you should have. I mean, I think I listed all of them in the email. In my email of today. So there should be all the categories that we've been using so far. Some have only been used in Blogger, in the Google Doc on the log. I guess they are not yet into the Blogger. Like NGO, I don't think is listed in the Blogger. I mean, all the others, they are not in the Blogger because they don't exist as labels in the Blogger, right, Amit?
Yes, more or less, yes. Okay.
Is that right? Prerna? No? You don't want to take this?
No, I'll take it up.
I'll do it if you don't want. I mean, you don't feel like you have to, right? It's just...
No, I will suggest what I can from my end, and then you can always modify and give in your valuable feedback.
Of course, this is what you do with us all the time. Yeah, I think it's just about starting the discussion on, from one perspective rather than another. But then, of course, it will be a discussion on your proposition. Is that right, Dylan?
Yes. No.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
No, you are more.
I'm okay if Prerna takes this task up. I'm also okay if Andrea takes this up. So
I think it's about taking a lead and taking a lead, or like starting the discussion. I think yes, I think if Prerna starts a discussion, I'm sure it'll be well thought of to begin with.
Yeah, and I think the way to proceed, Prerna, if you start from the keywords we have there, then I would come up with a new list, and then in brackets you can put, because some will be missing from this long list, and then in brackets you can put tools that need to go under the new word, right? Say you say events, and then you decide, and then you put in brackets what we would call child labels. You can put them in brackets, but then they will disappear as labels, right? So if we decide that conferences go under events, then we don't have conferences anymore. We only have events.
Right.
All right?
Right.
Right.
Okay. That's great. I won't be available in 2 weeks. I was telling Amit, I will be on a plane. at the time of our meeting. I'll check again to be sure, but
we didn't make a meeting last week and the previous week, right?
No.
So I didn't miss anything.
No.
Let me see. No, actually.
So shall we?
No, I'm fine. Sorry, I'm fine. I'll be here on the 26th. Yeah. So I'm fine. It's the 26th, right, for the next meeting? So I'll be here. We have a next meeting on the 26th.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, and if Amit, in the meanwhile, if you can extract the text file, then I'll do something with it and come up with a list for the right-hand side, so we can agree on the 2 lists possibly in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I will do that.
Okay.
Okay.
On 26th, I guess I'm gonna be taken. I am gonna be free at 2nd, the following week.
Sure.
No, I'm sorry, 9th. But okay, so then you are gonna do without me, and then I'm gonna join for the next one. Possible?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so can we close this meeting? Andrea, any closing comments, and then I'll stop the broadcast. Of course, we can.
No, I think we're good. I mean, we can exchange via email. So Prerna can respond to this thread of emails with a new list of keywords, and then when I have the text, I'll run ranking of keywords for the webpage, content keywords, and then we start working on that one.
Okay.
Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, and then at some point, I mean, hopefully Pallavi will be there. We can discuss again on availability for editorial work in 2018. And then at some point, Amit, maybe, I don't know, as soon as we proceed with filing of some more paperwork, then we can run an update through the editorial board, maybe. Yes. In due time. I mean, it's not urgent, yes. But certainly. Just as a perspective on the coming year.
Yes, certainly.
Yeah. We're not rich yet, but we have a donation button on the webpage. Did you see that, Thailand? It's very neat.
Yeah, I've seen this. I mean, beneath the page, it's very nice. It's very nice.
It's very neat. I think it's a bit hidden. It's a bit hidden, which gives an idea of a very that we are not demanding very much, but.
I think a businessman who has in mind to donate would find it easily.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it's really neat.
And we have tested. The money actually reaches the bank, so we've tested it.
Okay, so and the only money which is in the bank account is the money which you used for testing, or there is more?
No, there is more. There is more. We got some very generous bank transfers done before.
Okay, so better than RT's $50?
Yes, much better. We are running at about $5,000 in donations so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
It makes hundreds RT.
All right. Okay. So I will stop the broadcast. So thank you very much, everyone. And we can, of course, continue to speak, but I'll conclude this meeting. So thanks.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.